Welcome, my beautiful sister Julia. This is the first time you're here on my channel. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's very exciting.
Yeah. How's everything going? I know we were talking a little bit in the background, but just for
Yeah,
people
just enjoying the beautiful weather. Um, Here in Canada, the leaves are starting to turn very beautifully, like all colors, but the weather's still warm. So I'm
that's
really enjoying that.
nice. I mean,
Yeah,
are you ready to
yeah.
shovel snow? I
No, not yet.
excited.
No, I'm not ready for that. I'm
Ah,
just
I
enjoying
know.
fall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
How does fall look like in Canada? Oh, Julia is from Canada, so people who watch the
yeah.
replay.
It's
How does
beautiful.
Canada look like in fall? Like, does it get um does it start to snow? Like, what is? Because I
No,
know
no,
it's
we
colder than here. Mhm.
yes, it is colder than in the States for sure.
Yeah.
But we do get this beautiful 3, 4 weeks in October where leaves just change colors. It's really pretty. I actually know that people from all across the world are coming to see the color change because you can see all the tones. Like you can see the green and the rust and the yellow and the orange. And for a
Wow.
couple weeks, it's a show. It's a show.
Wow.
And then everything kind of cools down and
I
slowly but
know.
surely winter comes. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's nice. So it's very much
Yeah,
similar to this states.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
yeah.
So Julia also has an Instagram page. I have added the handle down below. If you want to reach out to her. But her and I were talking about um intimacy, and then there's a course that she's conducting, and it just organically came that maybe we should talk about this because this is a topic that is really that I'm also very passionate about. But so I thought we could get together and talk about intimacy and the holistic idea of intimacy, not just um, what we see today. And we are going to elaborate more on this, but that's the overview of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's such a potent topic, and I feel a conversation is really needed. There's so
Yeah,
much convolution in the
yeah,
space around that topic, and I feel a lot of people get confused, and with good reason.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think there's a need for more mature conversations, and getting clear on how things
yeah.
work or what's best for us. Let's put it that way.
Why? And let's just start there because we said, like this idea of intimacy is convoluted. Why, and I know there are multiple reasons, but what do you think, and in your life experience, what do you feel is the major reason of why we are in this paradigm of um, intimacy, right?
That's such a
Um,
good question. I mean, I can give you like the deep, like whatever
it's
comes to
okay,
me
go
right
on.
away.
We can take it.
But yeah,
Well, maybe just
um,
try whatever you feel comfortable with.
yeah, no, this is a topic very close to my heart. The, I feel our seat of power has to do with intimacy because that's our creative force. Like we, as God designed
Mm,
us, is in our spirit, right?
mm,
So when we like here in this context, let's say we're discussing intimacy between like two people, like men and women, a couple. When you come together, it's very powerful. And there's such an intimate exchange that happens, but the topic of discussion is always what are you actually transmitting? Like what's the messaging? What's the communication? And
mm,
that can be very powerful because there's always like a subtle communication in the small actions, in the tones, in how we care for each other, in how we don't care for each other. And the thing with intimacy is I feel every single thing we do gets registered in our spirit. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible power. Like someone, like this is probably one of my top 10 quotes that I really love. It says the best thing that can happen to you is a person, like the right person. The worst
Uh-huh.
thing that can happen to you is a person. So it's all around like the quality of who you
That's
have around
true.
you, um,
Yeah.
because of the power that that has. And intimacy is like the closest someone gets to you. So obviously the power is greater in the impact that can
Mm.
happen.
When
So your question, yeah, go ahead.
No, 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 go ahead. Sorry. Yes.
So I feel like your question is a really good question. Like why is the situation as we see it convoluted? People are so confused, hurt, and in pain. I feel this is the topic that's the most attacked on the planet
Hmm.
because of the power that it holds and the power that two people coming together. It's great. Like you can build so much. So obviously, in my opinion, I feel that's the most attacked
Interesting.
paradigm. Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
You said something. You said you did talk about nonverbal communication. Can you, how does that, because we're doing that all the time, you know? Um,
Yeah.
it's in the way we see, it's in the way we, we I guess my question is like, how do you think it has a part in this, and how can we learn more to, um, or I guess learn more about nonverbal communication? Because I think that what you're saying here is a big topic because most of our senses are so much focused on the physical um, aspects
Hmm.
that we never I don't think we pay enough attention to the nonverbal, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Why
Yeah.
why do you think that is, and how can we tread towards that mindset more?
Yeah. Okay. Another brilliant question. Like your, yeah. I really believe I think we really rush.
Yeah,
And when we rush, we don't give a chance to really understand and connect with someone. And when things are rushed and you, let's say, go very quickly to physical intimacy, you've kind of bypassed a lot of that, just getting to know the person, seeing their qualities, their
yeah,
strengths, their weaknesses, their quirks,
yeah,
um and hormones are a powerful thing. Once you come
yes.
together, intensifying everything in the field between those two people. So yeah, I said a lot. I'm just gonna slow down there because there's a lot
No,
of
it's
topics.
yeah,
But all that to say that the nonverbal is pretty much our subconscious and who we really are. It's a mix of both coming to the surface, right? Interacting with the other person. And before we have a chance to truly connect and form a relationship, which, let's be honest, it takes time. Like
yeah,
sometimes you resonate very quickly with someone and you just, you like each other, you have interests, you have maybe similar types of thinking, and you're like, oh my God, I found my person, or I really get along with this person. So let's kind of rush getting close together. But we have so much more to ourselves, and I
yeah,
feel it takes a lot of time to get to know deeper the person's values, what they stand for, you know how compatible you are, what's your direction in life. All those
mm,
things really
mm,
play a role in this, like, closely getting together and then showing who we are. And part of who we are is also the nonverbal. That's kind of how it comes across through those
mm.
small moments and those small interactions.
It sounds like
Um,
the synonym for that would be like maybe I'm just saying dating in today's world, because in my culture there's a concept of arranged marriage, and um I know people are kind of diverting from it, but for people who don't know, arranged marriage is basically families arranging your spouses, and then you get to know them after you get married, which I do understand the rationale, and in some aspects, there are pros and cons to everything, right? Um,
Yeah.
but I think that aspect again of what you said, getting to know each other, taking the time to get to know each other is pivotal. We can't just gauge someone on just looking at them, you know?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, hold on. Before go forward, welcome, Fatima. How are
Hi.
you? So I think I also wanted to talk a little bit about um, why do you think, like, why is there so much focus on beauty? Because when I think about intimacy, the number one thing that comes to my mind is beauty. And why do you think there's so much focus on beauty in general?
Mm.
And we can talk. It's not just a question on, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're discussing, but it's just interesting. Why do we equate our words to beauty? And everything revolves around it rather than the other things that you mentioned before, which is our soul, our personality, the way we see the world. There's just so much else going on rather than just how you are perceived physically,
Right.
right?
Yeah. The concept of beauty is, it has so much conditioning around it.
Mm,
Just because like as soon as we grow up, we see all types of magazines and examples and
yeah.
how to look like this, and this
Mm,
is the trend now, and then in 5 years it changes to like this is the trend now, and it's like
yeah.
you're like on a treadmill, it's like what's
Mm.
in, and like, hey, I'm
What's in
made this way.
fashion? Yeah, what's not
Yeah,
in fashion? Um
yeah,
and
and
it's also very personal, because when I
yeah.
grew up in India, they like white skin more. And when I came to the States, they like brown skin more. And I'm like, I'm confused. Like,
Yeah, it's true. It's like
it's
it's very
interesting,
true.
right?
Yeah, it's like here I think it's more what people find exotic, but everyone has beauty. Like every culture
Yeah,
has beautiful men and women. It's just different. No one's like higher or lower. And of course, people have
right,
preferences. Like that's just
right,
individual preferences. But on the outside, like the way I see beauty coming from like the nutrition background too, for me, it's like beauty is health more. So it's like if you're
right.
taking care of yourself and you eat well
Yes,
and you're not very stressed, you sleep well, you kind of have this basic way of just caring for your body, I think your beauty will shine through. That's like one aspect that like I
right.
personally feel
I love
is
that.
if you take away the lens of
It's simple. I
conventional
love
beauty.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
yeah,
much simpler. Oh, my eyebrows look a certain way. Oh, my eyelashes look a certain way. My lips look a certain way. It's like it's never ending. If you keep scrutinizing your body, it's
yeah,
never ending. But this you
and that's
can
not
you
the
can.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This you
it's true.
can do something about it. You know?
Yeah. It's true. And of course, like people, especially in the women's world, you can do that
Yes.
too. But it's almost like what's the order of things? Like what are the priorities? Of course, you can enhance certain things, like you said, maybe I want to try my eyebrows this shape. There's nothing wrong with like
Mm.
having fun and like practicing those like, okay,
Yeah.
let me see what suits me better or but at the end of the day, like when you zoom out,
Okay.
it's important for us to be healthy so like our spirits can come through, like our your inner
Mm.
beauty needs to come out. And I feel someone's beauty really consists in like their spirit, their essence, their mind, like how do they
Yes.
think, how do they portray, how do they see
Yes.
the world, like
Yeah.
what do they see around when they walk in
Yeah.
nature, like what comes up for you. And I
Mm.
feel linking this back to your first great question, like if you don't get to know someone, you don't have the chance to see their beauty. You don't know them,
Right. Right.
right?
Absolutely. It's like, I
Yeah.
think, again, it kind of goes back to we are in a rush to get somewhere. Probably it's intergenerational survival mode. And I will just say it's made up. We made up all of these traits to classify someone as attractive or not because we didn't have the time or the capacity to go deeper, like you were saying, to understand what makes this person beautiful, right? So we came up with
Right.
this traits, universal, or not universal, but like society traits, rather cultural traits, and it depends from culture to culture, right?
True.
So it's easier. But yeah, I don't know. Like I grew up with a major stigma around like I hated my skin, I hated my hair, I hated everything about myself growing up. There was a lot of self-hatred, and it took me a long time, and you have seen some part of it um
Mhm.
as well. I mean, it's crazy, like how can you hate? It's like you're so programmed to hate yourself, and it's really sad. And that's
Very
essentially what
sad.
we are saying, that I don't like myself this way, so I'm going to do something about it. But the question is, who came up with these standards anyway, right?
Right.
And we
Yeah.
were talking about it before, like the tribal people don't have any concept. Most of the people, not most, like there are some tribes who women don't even wear any clothes, they're bare chested. And there
Mhm.
is no concept of shame, there's no concept of beauty. They it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
How different it is.
It really is, and I think it has to do with the focus, right? Like especially in the West, there's so much focus put on the external, right?
Yeah.
Every detail.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not about like it's not wrong to wanna,
Yeah,
care about
presentable,
yourself,
yeah, or whatever.
presentable, to to maybe even experiment. But it's like, what's the purpose? It's like,
What's the
is that
point?
if that's the point in itself, just to look beautiful,
Right.
we kind of we're missing the point of like why we're here, because you didn't come here just to be
Yeah.
beautiful, like
Right? I mean, I had that you know, light bulb moment many years ago, and I was like, I could see women around me, like waxing and all of that stuff, and which is fine. It's a personal choice, like I said. We are not condoning any of that here. That's not the point. The point is to start
yeah,
thinking about why we do what we do, right? And I still remember I was like, either I can focus on this or I can focus on things that actually give me joy. Actually give me joy. If it
right,
becomes another chore, like what's the point? And so I didn't do any of what the women around me were doing, but
right.
that actually made space for me to do other things that I was interested in. So like you said,
Mm,
you have a limited energy, and where do you want to use that, right? Because this takes up a lot of time and energy. It does.
can take up your whole day if you want to.
If you wanted to, right?
Yeah,
Um, and like
yeah,
you said, there's a healthy level of like everything. I think balance is my favorite word. Like balance out, right? You can look pretty, but don't be vain. Like don't turn it into vanity. It's like there is a certain balance to everything. Like the roses are beautiful when they're blooming, but they also die and they wither. And that's just how it
right.
is. You know. I think that's
Yeah,
how we are too. Our skin is gonna start sagging and but our soul, like you said in the beginning, that is our true essence. And that's where our beauty comes
right.
from, right?
It does, and I feel that has been also lost culturally because, um, I mean, at least in my culture, I know that before grandmas and women that age had a beauty that was
Yeah.
unparalleled. And obviously, I'm not speaking about just the exterior,
Yes.
because in your 60s and 70s, your physique
Yeah.
changes, which is normal. But the light they had inside could not compare to a 20-year-old's light. Like the women who are like cultivated and they lived, such a beautiful life and they
Yeah.
contributed and they know their
Uh-huh.
gifts and they've used their gifts. They
Yeah.
just have a different beauty than, the beauty in your 20s. It's still beautiful. It's just very different. It's a different quality.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
I
So,
absolutely agree. I've always found older people beautiful for some reason. Um, and I know there are all bunch of there's a whole magnitude of people around in that, you know, area. But in general, I think I never as a child thought older people are ugly. Like that's something that we are programmed to see. Oh, this is ugly,
yeah,
this is not. And then you
yeah,
start to, put everything in black and white, but there's no black and white. It's very personal what beauty is, um,
yeah,
to you, right?
yeah. It's like
So absolutely.
we get filters. Like you grow up and then you're like, this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is beautiful, this is
It
ugly. And then
is
all you see
insane.
is that filter. You don't see what you think. You didn't even have a chance to develop your own, opinions.
It's
Um,
insane, Julia. Like recently I was just looking at this editing app because I was doing some stuff and I actually saw that you can change your face, like eyes and nose and all of that, and your body. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, you could do so that tells me what we perceive as beauty. And I know there are people in the entertainment business that have talked about it. They look completely different in real life.
yeah,
It's just they make them look a certain way, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be just like that." But we don't know there are so many filters and editing on top of it to make them look a certain way, right? And
yeah,
so much makeup and all of that. We it's interesting. Anything is doable in today's world. So it's
it is.
important, like you said, to go back to the basics where the beauty is coming from vitality. It's in your presence, it's in your it's in your soul, right? That's universal. That doesn't
Absolutely.
change. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, I love what you said and what you brought up because I feel in a world where, filters and all of that will be more and more prevalent,
Yeah.
this is even more valuable now. So people who actually do
Right.
take care of their health and of their spirits, like, will stand out. Like you will have something long lasting in a world where
Right.
the attention is going towards that. Since like a younger and younger age, unfortunately. Like I'm so blessed I didn't grow up with that. So blessed.
Mm,
But nowadays, 9-year-olds have access to that, and it's
that
quite
is
dangerous.
crazy, right? A lot of kids hang out on these lives, and there are times when my co-host is like, "You need to leave. Like, this is not for you. This is only for adults." And they don't have anywhere to go. Like, they have no space to understand what is going on, you know? It's
Mhm.
just yeah, that is a separate topic, but absolutely, when you don't know where to go, you're just gonna copy what you see. That's just
Yeah,
how it is. Fatima says things are changing and soon people won't use makeup anymore. Yeah, I think it still happens. Like women are choosing not to, and I also saw some actresses they've started stopping the makeup and stuff, which is interesting. See so many young girls going natural. Yeah, and it's also about time. Like, who has got time
yeah,
for that? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. It does take
Um,
time.
it does take time. So there were
Yeah, that's a good
certain
point.
things. What's that?
Oh, that's a good point that Fatima brought up. It's true. It's almost like a
Yeah,
counter movement, right? People are like, okay, let's like stop with the nonsense and let's go the other way.
I
You
think
know?
I always say that to my Indian family
Mhm.
that we are very influenced by the mainstream media more than we realize. Because that's the whole point. I don't know if any of you have seen Black Mirror. There's in their latest season, there was this episode where um the advertisements kept running and what the ad we don't realize that now, right? The advertisements subconsciously control the narrative, control how you see things, control what you see. So
Mhm.
we don't realize that, but that's what mainstream does. We
Right.
think we think it's not affecting us, but it does in a very subconscious way. So I don't think any of us, if we really go dig deeper, will agree with whatever we are doing today. But it's
Yeah.
just a subconscious programming.
Right. And I feel like this is a great point that you brought up. What's most important is what's inside should program you. It's like what's God telling you,
Yeah.
about yourself. Because that's what should prevail in your spirit and your mind. But we have so much bombardment with the outside in. You don't get to hear
Yes.
what's happening there. So there's competing voices.
Absolutely.
If here is like two messages, but then you get 100 from the outside, it's
Yeah.
like you need to put some energy to sort it out and not let it in, and that takes a lot of work. Actually, it takes energy to
It
not accept it, you
does.
know.
I think
Yeah.
that um I keep talking about it here that we need to learn how to center ourselves. Like especially in today's world, it's not even optional. It's not
No.
optional because we are, like you said, we are bombarded with information left and right to the point that our brains are not built for it.
Mhm.
Okay. So what do we do with this much information? It takes over. And that's why it's
Yes.
important to center yourself so then you can then choose what you want to do. You can start having a control over your life, which is the only thing you can control, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we absolutely need to it's completely we are inverted right now. It's like we are basically asking outside to decide for us what we need to think, what we need to feel. And like
Yeah.
you said, it has to be the opposite. It has to come from inside out, where you decide. You're in touch with the source, divine, God, whatever you want to call it. And there's that communication going on, and then you work from there. That
Absolutely.
is much more peaceful, but it takes a lot of work. I think that's just sad, but that's just how it
Yeah.
is,
I think it's it takes a lot of work
right?
because we're not doing it, and because it's not the mainstream way that we're grown up,
Right.
and like society doesn't cultivate us in that way. Then it takes work for us to go and cultivate ourselves the way we weren't. So in that way
Yeah.
it does. But after after you get that foundation there, it does become more natural. Like I had a period in my life,
Right.
for example, where I had to block almost everything. Like I wasn't watching anything. I just wanted to hear what's in there. I'm like, what do I think about this? Whether it's programming or not,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want the TV, the YouTube to be talking
Yeah.
to me and then I just take it in. I'm like, what's there? Like I wanted
Yes.
to know. And I had to take a break. Like I think I was a year and a half off of everything when I was young in my early 20s. Not that I'm not young now, but it was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that really helped. Like it really helped to see the noise, that
Yeah.
now is
Yeah.
not present anymore. And then when you see your beliefs, you actually realize, do I want this belief? Like, why do I even believe this? Like, you start questioning. You have the
Yeah.
space. But if you don't have that
Absolutely.
space,
You can't.
you won't even know. Like, you just run the program, you run what's in there.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
100%. That's a very good point. It's like I think it's hard because it's even hard to keep abandoning yourself. So you choose your heart. I think everything is hard ultimately in life. So you choose your heart because everything takes energy and effort. Um, but of course, I think that is this interesting because I did something similar. Um, I have turned off all recommendations on YouTube. Like it's been a long time, so I only see what I want to see. And even on social media, I did notice myself getting distracted. I was like, my mind. It does take. I think it's a digital detox we call it, right? It's. I
Yeah,
think it's important to do that. It's almost like we have created this force, which we call social media now, and we don't realize that it has taken over our life. It should be the other way around. Should be using it, right?
it's a tool. Yeah, I
It's
love
a
how you said
tool.
that.
And
Yeah,
it's like they want you to be there. That's why the algorithm will show you exactly what your interest is. So it's I mean, I studied AI. That's why I know like it's going to get difficult and difficult unless you take ownership and take authority over your life. You
right.
know. Fatima says even the sun tanning, how many people got skin cancer from it? Exactly. Well,
Mhm.
this is something I'm not aware of because we are already tanned. We got melanin already. That's the thing I got to me. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you go and get tanned.
Yeah,
I it's that's insane. If you can get a chance to travel to different parts of the world and you automatically get challenged anyways. Like all your programming gets challenged because you then
yeah.
realize, oh, it's not same everywhere, it changes depending on where you go. So
Mhm.
skin cancer, yeah. Wow. People still do it
Yeah,
though, right?
there are people who still do it, but there's so much research proving like all the dangers of it. But I don't think most people either like want to listen to it because it's not
Okay.
news anymore. Like
Mm,
it's been there for a while. But
yeah. Another thing when I was thinking about this topic was that, and I think we did talk about is when we lose our individuality in a sense, right? Because we're trying to become like everyone else, and we lose ourselves in the process, right? Where is our individuality?
Mhm.
And comparing that constant comparison which we see on social media and mainstream, right? That robs us of the joy that's always there, right? And it's just
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it's a program to like I just attempts to keep women in that never good enough type of pattern because you
Yeah,
always have like one extra thing to chase, like one extra wrinkle to erase, one extra beauty procedure to do. And then in the end, like we said again, I'll repeat, there's nothing wrong with that. But when that becomes the focus, you lose
yeah,
like the purpose. Is like that you weren't created just to look at your own face and body and become the end, like you are here with so many gifts to develop and like share with the
yeah,
world. Like everyone is so unique. Every woman has so many, potential talents that they're here to like bless the world with. But we need time to cultivate this. If your time is
right.
taken away by this, now it's like the world's deprived of, you know, your beautiful contribution and like your service and you just being there and making the world a better place. It's really sad.
It is a kind of an inner pilgrimage, right? That uh, each one of us should take, I think, just for out of self-respect of your being here and of
Yeah.
your essence. It's not another chore. I don't want to, I think today's the language that we use seems like you need to. Well, it's not like you need to, but look at the amount of pain we are all in just following these standards that actually don't work for any of us. Maybe for some. I don't know about everyone. So, oh, another
Yeah.
thing was um I also felt that the beauty or our focus on beauty, why do you think like why are because I think that it has something to do with the childhood wounds as well. Like we're trying to almost compensate. that validation that we needed through validation. We get
Mm.
dressing up a certain way or through these standards, right? Like that seeking validation is a major part, right?
That is a major part. There can be many like patterns underneath it or stories. Like we said, one is like never good enough. No matter how many things you do to yourself, you look in the mirror, but then you still don't feel full. Like you feel the void inside. It's never enough
Mm,
to feel you. So it can be never
yeah,
good enough. Then it can be like you beautifully said, the validation. Like if I do this, maybe people will finally see me and see what I have to bring, and like maybe they'll appreciate
yeah,
me more. But again, it's a tricky situation, right? Because they may
yeah,
appreciate the beauty that you have, but then you will always kind of have that question inside, like, but do they know me? Do they like who I am more than just how I
yeah,
look? You always have that little voice that will tell
I,
you that because you will feel
yeah.
like, hey, they don't know me.
I think it's a phase. Like once, especially depending on how much emotional disconnection you had growing up, you will want that validation right away, which is why I think our focus is so much on how we look, because that gives you that instant validation right away. But then when that
Right.
veers off is when we realize, oops, it's not working,
I
right?
like that you said that. I really like that you said that because what you brought up is a really important point. Those needs that we didn't get as kids,
Right.
they're very important. Like they don't go
Yeah.
away and they have a big
No.
power. They have the same power like kids do. Sometimes you look at this kid as like one and they can scream so loud, and you're like, how
Yeah.
do you have that much power in that tiny body to like get all this attention? I feel like the needs from that early 0 to 7 year old stage are the same. They really
Right.
need to be fulfilled. Otherwise, there's a stage that you cannot grow and mature past. It's just how the growth process works. Um, and that's also like a topic that I'm passionate about. But all that to say, like, we shouldn't feel ashamed for those needs, but we should understand just how powerful they are. It's like
Right.
eating. If you don't eat, like, you won't really function very well. You can go too far. So
Right.
there's a set of needs that we need to fulfill in order for us to, the pyramid of Maslow, like the pyramid of needs.
It
Um,
is true. Yeah. It is a
yeah.
need
So
again, and it's not shame. There's no shame around it. It's just that to,
absolutely not.
like you said, to just notice that and acknowledge it, and
Yeah.
see the pattern. Because if you don't see the pattern, and I think that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Um, it's a common pattern if you really see it. Because at the end of the day, if you ask anyone, they'll be like, they will want something deeper eventually. Everyone,
Right.
even the one who spent a lot of time on the physical aspect, will tell you they want something deeper. Why is that?
Hmm.
Right? So I think the childhood wounds scream a lot more and grab a lot
Yes.
of attention, but eventually the adult takes over and, like, you know,
Yeah. But the
but
most
to
important thing
identify.
is, yeah, I think the most important thing is when we are aware of those, like you very nicely explained, not to let the world hijack those. Because as you see, like the need for,
Yeah.
let's say, validation is in all of us. But if you're pairing that with
Yes.
like, buy this, make your hair like this,
Mm.
look like this, now you're like not really fulfilling that need. You're just kind of using that part of you that wants that, and now you're attaching it to another topic. And as much as you'll change your looks, that will not fill that spot because you're not gonna feel that need with something external in
Mm.
that way.
Right. And like that hoarding and shopping, all of that, it's like another, different ways we kind of, this takes over, right?
It does, and it becomes addictive. That's the part that we
Addictions.
need to be aware because addictions, no matter what they are, it's very easy for all of us to get caught into them because
Yes.
dopamine and those hormones are just very powerful, and we should understand how it works, because no one's
Yes.
above that. And we can get addicted to
Right.
many things, whether
Yes.
it's like you said, beauty, or you can get addicted to other more fancy stuff, like self
Yeah.
development or
Yeah.
something like that, books all the time, which I was guilty of
Yeah.
at some point. So
Right.
yeah, Yeah,
It's like that good girl complex, right? It's like I want to it's like addiction, but like you take it on the other side, it's still an addiction, you know? Like meditating, which was my
exactly.
thing, like meditating and meditating. It's like now you're bypassing the human stuff, all right?
Yeah.
So, or
It's
like how
sneakier, right? Like the more you
it
advance, like
is.
the
It
addictions,
is.
like they get sneakier. You have to be much more subtle and understand what's going on there because it would look a certain way on the outside. Like, what's wrong with meditating or reading so many books, and like researching? Nothing's wrong with that. Well, what's the motive underneath it? Like, what are you
Right.
trying to fulfill? That's the most important part. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's at the end of the day, it's about nothing is really wrong. It's always about balance and it's about the flow, right? That, but if we get stuck, it's almost like any kind of attachment to anything, that's a problem. If you get stuck somewhere, like nothing is wrong, everything is okay, everything has a place. But the moment you get attached to it is the moment that it drags you down. And like to find out why we're getting attached to it, right? Which is like we're talking about beauty today, but in a way, it's just one of many.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you said, meditating in
Yeah,
itself, can be very positive in other contexts and depending on how you use it. But you can
right.
also use it in a less helpful way for yourself. And it's not helping you. Like you said, you can bypass things that you're supposed to do instead, or
Yeah.
you're using it as a maybe
Cool.
distraction or something, which, yeah,
Yes. Like I've used healing, like I'm healing, I'm healing, healing. I'm like staying away from everyone. You know what I mean? Like we do all that kind of stuff. And it's
we
like,
do.
hey, you're running away from humans. You have to go back. All right. Okay, you took it a little bit far. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
That's
So
a lesson,
absolutely. It is a
We learn.
lesson.
We learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, those are great examples.
Right?
Yeah,
We
and a lot
all
of people are
no
going through
nobody's
that.
immune to it. Yeah, nobody's immune to it, right? Um,
Both. Like I feel we're all dealing with
absolutely.
similar themes, just like of different like levels, but like I think we're all in the same boat and we should really learn from each other so we can shorten the path.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking that, there is at the end of the day, and I know we are okay, we have more minutes. I don't want to extend it too much. I know you have things to do, but um
Also enjoying this.
thank you. But I was also thinking that at the end of the day, it is coming out of suppression, right? Like the feminine was suppressed in some way, or the masculine was suppressed in some way, and these are just like those suppressed versions of the same energy that we are seeing right now.
Mm.
What do you think about that? I know because you're into this.
Suppression is a huge pattern globally. Um,
Yeah.
and of course it shows very differently in each culture and depending on how you grew up.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like the pendulum effect. Whatever you try and push down, there will be an equal
Mm,
force coming to try, to come back up. Um, so you can't
yeah.
really bury anything that's holds so much energy. But the issue is when it comes up, it will come also in an unbalanced way. So we have to be careful.
Mm,
Um, you know, because we want to tend to feel okay. Let's liberate ourselves. We've been suppressed in that area, and now there's no more rules, no more boundaries, and you can express it the way you want. But that's not necessarily
yeah.
helpful for us either.
I
We have to
want to
be
talk about
careful.
it because this one night stands, porn, friends with benefits, all of this is, I think, the suppressed versions of this same sexual energy, right? Um, why do you think we are falling into these patterns where we we're basically running away from um, deeper connections, genuine connections, right? There's a fear of it. I think we fear commitment in today's world in a way,
Yeah, well, that's a huge topic, but to
right? I
answer in
know.
a simple
Sorry.
way, No,
Yeah,
it's great, but it's an amazing question. I'm like, oh, I love that. I'm like, we're just getting started, but
right.
I
And we
feel the
can
answer
definitely
to
talk about these in further iterations, but just
sure.
yeah.
I feel
And
like the primal wounds are the main answer, the short answer. Like, why? Because they need to be answered, and you will do the best that you can. So, like in that moment,
mm,
if you feel alone, let's say, and you want connection, but then you also have this wound, like everything comes together, and society's presenting to you the
yeah,
buffet of options. Like you said, friends of benefits, porn, everything is just so easy. That's the problem. Like it's so easy to go
right.
for those. It's in your face. It's not like it's that hard.
Yeah,
And when you start engaging with that, there's always a cost. Why? Because you are literally through your eyes, which vision is very powerful. Like what you take in. Like your mind remembers, your emotions are affected, your spirit gets imprinted. It's never innocent. Anything you look at and you take in affects you, whether you
right.
think you're blocking it or not. It does affect
That's
you at the
true.
level.
Yes.
And when you engage your hormones, that's when the issue becomes harder because now your
Mm,
body's registering, and it's like an ice cream. It's like, okay, if you're hungry, you want real food, like you said, you like connection, you want deeper mature commitment,
yeah,
but you are reaching for the sugar. Now your body will program your pathways to want
yes.
more sugar because you're like, oh, this was easy, I like that. It may not
Yeah.
be what you need
Wow.
to be healthy long term, but you got something out of it, something quick.
Wow. Well said. Yeah. That is a good example. Exactly. This is it, people. Hear out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
real food, but it is very catchy and you know, everyone
Yeah.
loves it, but absolutely. But
Yeah.
I think um but how do you handle that? Because I think it is the problem is that the culture we have built, the way we live these days, it's not very easy to meet people, and then there's just a lot going on, you know?
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
And, like, how do you meet, like, real nice I'm just saying, it's just I think it's getting harder. I mean, I wanna believe that there are people out there, I think there are people out there, but it's just, like, how do you balance that out in your being? Because 'Cause you're working, and you have this, and you have that responsibilities, and you also have your primal needs, and you're like, "Oh my god," like
That's a good question.
right,
I think that's a really good question.
and I'll tell you, because I don't know, I was thinking about it. I think if and I can talk that as a woman, I don't know men can talk on their behalf, but I think if we have a father wound, for example, in a sense that you did not get the right kind of attention. And when I say attention, it's not just about I want all of these things. It's not about that. It's not that's not what I'm talking about. It's about really the presence of your father in your
Right.
life.
Yeah.
When you don't have that,
Hmm.
and I think it's coming from the book I was reading yesterday, Daisy Jones and the Six, if someone is thinking. And in that, she talks about this rock star, Daisy Jones. She attracted these kind of partners in a way because her parents were not available at all. So it's almost like it's a breeding ground for patterns like this when you don't have that healthy masculine.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why parents are so important. Like
Yeah.
they literally represent the two building blocks, like the healthy masculine energy and the healthy feminine energy. We need both.
We need
Like
both.
we're
Right.
both men and women need both. They
Right.
they create the structure so that like who you are as a unique soul can come through and have a foundation.
Right.
So anything that we're missing, it's you will feel it. Like
Right. And you
its
feel
presence
it, but
will
then
be
how you
you feel
handle
it.
it is the question. What's the question? But
The only way to safely handle it is to
what do you
complete your
think?
growth
Yeah.
process. Like
Okay.
you have to. Because like you said, let's say you have those needs. as an adult, like to connect,
To
to not be
connect,
alone,
yes. Yes.
to build something long lasting. And then you have this like wounds that are, let's say, young, from like a
Yes.
6-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old. Now you have like a popcorn bowl there of like a mix of adult and a mix of a kid, So it's like, who's running the
Yes.
show?
Right.
Very important to not ignore the needs of the kid,
Right.
but neither let them dictate, because otherwise you'll eat sugar all day long. Your teeth will
Yes.
fall out, metaphorically speaking.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think in my experience, and I've seen that in my own life, the more you respond to those needs and you properly heal them, they are integrated, and then you have more space for your adults and your soul to come online and like kind of rule the show, and there's no more battleground, there's no more conflict, there's no more tug of war. I want to do this, no, I want to do that, and then a part of you wants to go one way and then another part wants to go another way, and you may end up not going anywhere or freezing or doing both and then regretting one. you know
Right.
um, so I like, for me, the only answer is growth process. Like, complete everything that you haven't been taught, and whatever your parents couldn't offer you. I'm sure everyone's parents offered
Right.
some things
Right.
and not
It's
others.
normal. Yeah.
It's just part of being, in this world. But it's very important to identify those and to understand there is a process. It's not
Right.
random, and this process of growth applies to all of us. Like, we all have the same process. So
Mm.
that's the good news, Like, we
Right.
can go through it, and we can hold each other's hand going through that. And once that happens, you really feel more peace inside. Like, you feel like you can exhale, you know? You're not conflicted as much. You have other type of conflicts, let's say, after, like, how do we help the world and how do we fix these issues, but
Right.
inside you feel like you have a strong foundation, and that's the most important thing.
Right. But I also think in my personal experience that community has a big part in it. I don't think you can do it alone. I mean, I've tried it. It did not work for me. So I think that because these are root chakra issues at the end of the day, right? Um, and to have people around you that really care for you, I think is important because I also want to add that because I don't think it's just all like you can heal by yourself, everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it
You
can
have a
be
community.
really, yeah, it can be a lot. So
It
having
can be a
people
lot.
around you, yeah, that ground you, because at the end of the day, you need, you want to be more grounded, and that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, isolation is only good if you really are in an environment that really opposes what you're
right,
going for. Then
right,
it may be a good thing, because otherwise you will feel
yeah,
very conflicted inside yourself. You'll be like, how can I
right,
go for these things when everyone around me is going for this? It's going to be a lot of energy that you lose just trying to oppose it
yeah,
every day. In that sense, you have to be conscious. Like, if you're consciously stepping away from that for this
yeah,
reason, it can be helpful short term while you get your
right,
footing and while you find another community that
exactly,
hopefully is aligned with you. But I totally agree
absolutely,
with you. You need to be
absolutely,
with community, because we all have bad days. We all have those moments where you're
yeah,
like, what am I doing today? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Is it worth it what I'm doing? Like, I'm feeling this, I'm having these thoughts, and then
right.
someone's there and they're
Just
like,
having someone there that can tell you, "Hey, it's all in your head, it's fine."
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to also mention that 100%.
yeah.
Um,
And communities to be very appreciated. Like, once you find, like, my parents, for example, taught me when I was very young. They always used to tell me, it's like, if you have just two good friends in your whole life, like, you have won the lottery. Like,
that is
though, if
so
you have
true.
just two people, they're gonna be
That
there with
is
you,
true.
for you. They know you. They want the best for you, and so do you for them. It's like, you won the lottery, and I was like, whoa, only two? I'm like, we need so much more. And they're like, yes, you do. But if you have one or two, You're
Yeah,
still
someone that
so
doesn't
much
twist
better.
the truth, then that tells you exactly how it is. I think
Yeah,
it's a gift. It's a blessing to have in your life.
yeah,
Life can be really confusing, and especially, it's a bigger topic, but yeah, absolutely. So if you have anything like that, that's awesome. Um,
yeah.
I think we have 5 minutes to go. If anyone has any comments or questions, Fatima says, very wise words from your mom. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Um, Anything else you want to add, sis, or something, or people in the chat, go ahead. Um,
I would love to have a part two. I just love how the
yeah,
conversation went today and everything you
absolutely.
shared. You have such
Absolutely.
amazing questions, and like I love how like everything flowed. So thank you so much again for having me
It's
and
my
for
pleasure.
having
It's
this
my
opportunity to
pleasure.
discuss. This is a very important topic. So
Yeah, I think that the point of having these like conversations are really important because I think they open a channel. Like there's a possibility opening. Otherwise, but if we don't even talk about it, I don't think there's any possibility of any change happening. So thank you so much for, joining me today. And I learned it I really think I got something to think about from you, like especially the nonverbal communication, because I think that the kind of lifestyle that we live today, um, or I will say because we are creatures of habit, so it's about developing better habits, of slowing down, taking the time to take everything in, um, is really important for your emotional well-being in general and your relationships and so on, right? Fatima
absolutely.
says, I told my sons have I told my sons have few friends, but good ones. That's what it
Yes,
is.
absolutely.
And we are such diverse beings in general. Like to get to know so many people at once is just it's possible, but I think with the responsibilities we have, it's just not possible to have so many friends that you know deeply, connect
Yeah,
deeply with.
I think so too. Because once you have a few friends at that level, you also need to nourish those relationships. You know.
Exactly, because it's not a pact, right? So it's like you need to follow up. Hey, what's
Exactly.
going on? You know,
Yeah,
um, it's not about
exactly.
connections. I think that what we call networking the
Mhm.
um in the white collar jobs, for example, it's not about networking. That's not what we're talking
No,
about, right?
no, connection
Absolutely.
and networking are very different.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's how when people say I have a lot of friends, I'm like, okay, that's like probably that networking concept because you can't, it's just I don't know. My opinion, and I think our opinion is that you can know so many people at once. And I think Fatima agrees too, so good.
yeah.
Um, okay, I do wanted to um just putting it all together. I think today we talked about shifting a focus from how do we look, the physical aspects from that to um, how do I feel, you know, um, when I'm present in this moment, how do I feel? And that's where I
Mhm.
think we want to move forward. We want to move forward from how we look to how we feel, right?
Yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
also yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say just deeply understanding like what's the root of the pattern
Exactly.
or the messages that we receive. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Taking the time to get to know yourself and others. I think that's what we want to try towards, right? Um, Another thing did want to mention also touches the same thing is that exploring intimacy. through creativity, because that's a big part, right? Being creative, like dance is another one, art, like it's not just about sex. I'm just saying, like there's or just there's so many ways to, like you said, to connect, um
Mhm.
a hug. It's so much more intimate. A person seeing you, listening to you, taking you all in, that's so intimate. People listening
Yeah.
to our conversation, fully present, that is intimate. I know it should be both ways, but I'm just saying, that's
Yeah.
much more preferable to be in person, but, you know.
Yeah. I think what you said is very wise, and it's really important to have like the right boundaries around these dynamics, because each relationship has their own unspoken rules. Like if you want that
That's
relationship to
true.
thrive, we need to get specific a bit with, kind of the rules. But I don't
Yeah.
want to sound like, oh, the rules as in
No,
like
but
we
that
have
is
this like,
true.
but
That is
it's
true. I think
yeah,
fluidity is not okay. It's like, otherwise everybody's going in there, you know, all over the place. So
yeah,
boundaries are a big
yeah.
part of healthy
Healthy boundaries,
relationships,
absolutely. Yeah,
healthy boundaries.
fluidity is a very different thing,
No,
you can be fluid once you have the boundaries. Like, for example, we have this conversation, we can go in different topics. This is
right,
fluidity, but it's healthy fluidity because we set up the topic, the container.
right. Yeah,
Like these are the boundaries. But yeah, I think
right,
we have to be like the closer we get to our core, we have to be very careful about those boundaries and
right.
the purpose. Like, why are we doing certain things? Even
Yeah,
to preserve ourselves, because that's we don't want to be one step forward, two step back. Like one step we're doing like an act that can bring people together, and then you do
no,
things that hurt you or hurt the other person. We have to be careful.
right.
Those things are costly.
That's true. Yes, definitely. Valid point with boundaries. Absolutely. Because it gets sketchy real quick. You don't want to do that. No. Um, yeah. Also like performing, like stop performing. Like let's just stop performing, Just let's just be real. It's
Yeah,
okay to suck. It's okay to make mistakes. Just
absolutely. Just learn from them. Yeah,
yeah, but I think that also increases intimacy in relationships when you can show that side of yourself
yeah,
to others,
absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. Um, very, very important. Just when you
right?
do the mistakes, what matters is learn and move on, and don't have that bring you down and like your image of yourself, like, oh, I failed again, or oh, it's like keep that keep that attitude, like it was like a jogger, it's like, oh, I tripped, okay, back back on track. you
Yeah,
know we're
yeah.
starting again.
It's almost
That's
like the same thing. Like uh, I think that perfectionism is again coming from a wounded child. It's
yeah,
like if mistakes were not accepted, you will go to which is a thing with me, perfectionism. And
yeah,
it's okay to fall and it's okay to make mistakes, and I think that's make brings people closer. Actually, I have seen that when you ask for help and you're like, I'm not okay, or whatever it is, it
yeah,
lets people see, um and it's sacred. I mean, and I think that we rob people of, and it's something that I'm also working on. It robs people of being there for you when you didn't even give them a chance to be there for you, you know
that's very true. Yeah. And it's true, like there's a difference between wanting to be good at something and be excellent and like perfectionism, because I feel you can strive to
Right.
learn to develop yourself in a skill or in a way of being, but if
Yes.
when you do mistakes you feel like now you feel worse about yourself and you're beating yourself down, that's
Mm,
perfectionism, because you're like taking it on
yes.
onto you. But if
Yeah.
you're having more the attitude of like, okay, I'm still learning, like I don't know how to do this yet, like I've just
Yeah.
started, I have a lifetime to learn, you won't make it about you not being okay, you'll just make it about
Right.
I'm not good at the skill, like I'm not, I'm still learning, how can I be good
Also,
at it?
yeah. Also,
Yeah,
like, it's actually giving grace to yourself and also the other people, right? Like if someone doesn't show up doesn't mean they hate us. It means they might be stuck somewhere. It's interesting
Yeah.
how, it's just
Yeah.
being more giving more grace to the human experience. I felt that too. I'm like,
Yeah.
we go through so much, we can give each other grace. It's like we don't know
Yeah.
what the
And
other person is going through.
yeah, we never know fully. That's very true. And one thing that really spoke to my heart, I wrote a post about it last week, about honesty on my Instagram, and that really spoke to me because of how much I've learned through my own experience. It's about a post about honesty, and I think on the third or fourth slide, I wrote something like, "Honesty is not cruel." Meaning, like when you do mistakes, you're supposed to learn and move on, but your worth and your value doesn't change. You know, it's having those two things together inside of you. It's like that's the
Yeah.
healthy, like you said, we have the healthy masculine and the healthy
Yeah.
feminine coming together. That's what it is. It's like your worth isn't changed by
Yeah. Wow.
mistakes, but at the same time, let's not ignore the mistakes and just focus on, oh, nothing
Right,
happened.
right.
It's like, nope,
You
that was a
strive,
bad move.
yeah, you
Let's
strive
correct
to
it and
do
move on.
better. Right. You strive to
Yeah.
do better, but you don't attach your personality and your value to that,
Yeah.
to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
It is a major thing. I mean, I have seen people getting so personal, you know. Um it's just interesting when we forget that the boundaries, like, and this is about boundaries between you and whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy to have good boundaries, not like walls, but
Not
even
walls. Yeah.
ourselves. Like sometimes we fuck up, right? We all do. It's not just about boundaries
You
with
know.
others. It's also about us. Sometimes it's about like, no, you're not developing this habit, all right? This is not helping.
Mhm.
You need to do that sometimes. So,
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Fa-
True.
Fatima says, "Have a blessed evening, ladies. Blessings." Thank you so much,
Thank
Fatima,
you,
for hanging
Fatima.
out.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
for
she
your
also says
comments.
life is like a school, always learning. Yep, absolutely.
I'm 63 and I'm still learning. Beautiful. It is about that. It keeps us in a curious state of mind. That's a gift, right? If you know everything, that is so boring. I mean, yeah. I'm so glad there's so much to learn. You
True.
know, you look forward to getting up and doing things. So, absolutely. All right. So, anything else you want to add, my dear sister?
I feel complete. That was a very rich conversation. But looking forward to part two. Like I said,
Absolutely.
thank you
Absolutely. Yes.
for this chat. It was very lovely.
Yeah. And I mentioned in the beginning, but I'll say it again. You can find Julia um on her Instagram. I think I have added that her handle, but I'll check again. Um and you can reach out to her. She's amazing. She is doing one-on-one sessions. She is also starting a new course on sacred sexuality. Check out her page. It's all in there. You can reach out to her. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys again with a different topic. And you all have a great rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And we'll see you again. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julia. I love you.
Thank you, Rani. Thank you so much. And thanks, everyone. Thank you,
All
Fatima, for
right.
your beautiful comments. And thank you,
Yes,
sister, for having me. We'll speak soon. Love you so
absolutely.
much.
Love you too. All right. Share this video if you watch the replay, anything. I mean, not anything, but share this video with people on your channel. Um, I think there were a lot of nuggets of wisdom here, and I hope you have a good one. All right. See you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.